Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Tonight we're going to make one of my favorite dishes. It's a very simple and easy dish. It's pan-fried salmon with rice and vegetables, in this case broccoli. You can use any kind of rice. We have basmati, but you can use any kind of white rice, brown rice, whatever you like. The salmon is just about a pound. You want to have a cut of about a pound of salmon. And then the other ingredients would be olive oil for cooking the vegetables and the salmon, and then a very simple spice mix. This consists of black pepper, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of ground mustard. But the real important ingredients there would be the black pepper, salt, and the garlic and onion powder. You can add any other spices you might want. Sometimes you might add, for example, paprika or some sprinkled Parmesan cheese, especially at the end. And that's pretty much it for the ingredients. We'll be using a rice cooker for the rice. You can cook rice just in a simple pot and pan with boiling water. You can look up on the internet how to do that. It's a very easy process. We have a rice cooker that makes it a little easier for us, but so we'll get started. All right, so here we have the stove set up, just a simple frying pan and a saucepan. And a couple of utensils. We got a spatula for the fish and this fork, or you could really use anything, but this works well for me for the broccoli, for your vegetables in the back. What we'll do first is we'll get these started with some heat. Put it, usually I put the salmon to around medium heat. I'll turn it down because it does cook. It cooks hot even at low temperature. For the veggies, we'll leave that one off for now. I'll kind of prep it, but we don't need to cook them till the end since it'll take a while. And now we're just going to add some oil. Say about a spoon or two of the olive oil would be good. And we'll let that sit for a minute and then we'll add the fish. All right, looks like our oil is heating up quite a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and put the salmon in. And you can see with this cut, it's got the skin on the back. Sometimes you get it without. It's personal preference or whatever's available. Also, I don't think you want to eat the skin. I think some people may, but personally, I don't eat the skin. But we'll put it skin down because that's the side you want to cook. You just set it right in the pan, and then you can add your spices. Now, first, I'm going to wash my hands because of touching that fish. All right, and I washed my hands good. Got that little fish oil and stuff off. Now I'm just going to sprinkle the seasoning on top of the fish. Sometimes I even add some olive oil on top, but we can kind of baste it later as it starts to cook. And we'll baste some of the olive oil in the pan already. All right, that's probably enough spice. I might leave it on this side in case I want to add some more later. And really now, we just let it start cooking. We'll let it begin to simmer a bit, and then I'll turn it down. And pretty much at this point, you want to keep an eye on it, but you'll be able to kind of go off and come back. It'll take probably a good 20-30 minutes or so to really get cooked. All right, here we are with the rice. I'm going to do 2 cups. And before I start to cook it, I'm going to actually walk over here to the sink and wash the rice out a bit. Because there's always a lot of little impurities in any kind of rice, so it doesn't hurt to wash a little bit. And if I'm quiet enough, you can hear in the background the fish is sizzling already, and I turned it down on low, but it's sizzling, so there you go. So I'm just washing this out by hand a little. You want to be careful so that you don't pour the rice out with the wash water. Let's do a couple more, kind of until the water runs clear. All right, so I'm just going to put my rice bowl in the cooker, and I like to add a little bit of olive oil, really any kind of oil if you prefer, but I just use olive oil generally. Maybe about a spoon's worth, and this is just to kind of prevent the rice from sticking. This may be, some people may hate this idea. I think people have strong opinions about it sometimes, but we'll just leave that as. We'll mix in the olive oil a little bit with the spatula. This is the rice spatula. Just mix that in a little, and then that's really it. We'll cover it up and set it to go, and it takes about 20 minutes. It'll cook away. All right, we're back over here. We're gonna have a look at the fish. It's cooking right along. You can see, like I mentioned, it's cooked very slowly. I might turn it up a little. I don't want it to be popping and snapping too much and burn, because that skin can get burned very easily on the bottom. But you can see I'm moving the oil around a little. I might even see if I can spoon some on the top, kind of baste it. It's pretty hard to get it up in there though. It's a pretty oily fish to begin with, but this helps and adds to the flavor. So we'll just let that keep doing its thing. Keep it covered. And you can see I've already started. I prepped the broccoli, and really I added a little bit of olive oil and warmed it, and then put the broccoli in and added the rest of that spice mix that I'd used on the fish, just to give it some nice kick to it. So we're going to put that on the burner as well on the back. We'll turn that down to about maybe a medium low. And again, it's kind of a waiting game now. We just let everything cook on and keep checking it periodically to make sure it's looking good. Let's check back on the rice. One thing I forgot to mention, I like to mix it periodically as well as it's cooking, especially when it really starts boiling hard. But that's going right along. We'll leave that alone. One other thing I forgot to mention also is that this is a recipe for about 2 people. So if you have more you're making, you might want to double it if you have, 4 more people. Anyway, everything's cooking right along. We'll check back on this in a little while and see how it looks. All right, guys, we are back. Everything really cooked just right. You can hear the salmon still cooking a little, even though it's not on a burn anymore. I'm gonna get the rice ready. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, this is a little trick I learned, another trick with the rice cooker. If you put a little extra pressure on top, it helps it cook kind of better and faster. So you got a nice cooked rice there. And we'll get our broccoli. And then last, but certainly not least, we have the fish. I'm just going to put a big old steak right here on the side. And there you go. Thanks for tuning in.